It seemed to start as a simple cold. Then authorities thought perhaps it was a standard flu. It wasn't long before it was clear that the world was dealing with something much, much worse. Countries tried denying entry, mandating shutdowns, and limiting travel. But it continued to spread. It spread to every corner of the globe, and it started mutating. Governments tried everything they could as thousands upon thousands were dying. Civil unrest began to spread. Now, almost 2 years into the pandemic, as the bodies are piling up, the worst has happened.
Hello, we are back with some more 31 Days of Horror 2021. Again, you'll see it's just me because I essentially saved Leslie from having to watch Flesh Freaks. Yes. This is a very, very, very low budget, micro budget, if you will, film from the year 2000. It runs about an hour, 20 minutes. It is, as far as I can tell, Canadian, which I was kind of surprised by. And essentially the story is somewhere in Central America, there's these, I guess you'd call them university students or grad students or professors or something, doing an archaeological dig or something like that, and apparently they unearth something and bring it back to Canada, or some things, we'll put an S on that. The film is very akin to something like Puppet Masters, Invasion of the Body Snatchers, that kind of thing, Contact even, along those lines of, creatures living inside human hosts type thing. And I'm not even going to worry about spoiler on that front, because really most of you are not going to see this movie, and if you do, it is what it is. The film is written and directed by Connell Pendergast, who has done a few things, mostly short films. But in terms of, feature-long films, he was involved with Indie Horror Hits Volume 2, and he also did, after this, Kill Them and Eat Them. Now, this film is not one of your, super-duper budget films. It's, as far as I can tell, it's shot on digital, being the, time frame that it's in. And it may even be a student film. I believe, I could be wrong, but it looks like portions of the film were shot at University of Toronto. I think it's hard to tell. I mean, it's been so long since I've been in Toronto in certain areas. It may not have been shot in Toronto at all, but there are aspects to it that did seem familiar. We'll just put it that way. In terms of the cast, nobody really went on to do anything. A couple of people worked on other projects of Connell Pendergast. Connell Pendergast actually also acts in the film as Barry, but just to give them credit, Esh Mercer James plays Jane, Erica Dania Goldblatt plays Leah, Clayton Hayes plays Professor Fitzner, Dan Zabal plays Emo, John King plays Dr. Brell, and then there's a bunch of sort of like extras and stuff like that. But there's actually one person in this film who actually has done other work, like actual other work, and that's Eaton Muscat, who plays Stan. And oddly enough, he's got like 17 credits to his name. Some of it is television stuff. But after this, he went on to be in the film Who is KK Downey, where he played Ratso. This is a film, not a lot of people have seen it, but it is out there if you want to. He was also in Peepers. He was also in an episode of Dig, that television show, and The Expanse, and such. So it's not like he hasn't done anything afterwards. He's actually done a few things here and there, which is surprising considering nobody else has, not even the writer-director. Yeah, I was quite surprised to see that. Now, this is one of the... I'll give them credit, like, it could use a little bit of refining, even in terms of, low-budget, micro-budget type filmmaking. But it's actually pretty well done. The costumes aren't any, makeup effects, etc. aren't anything crazy. The acting is obviously amateur, but the idea is there, and it actually is a full-blown, put-together, cohesive story and film, which is something to say compared to some films out there. I will say that a few of the scenes of dialogue and such are a little bit too much. It does look like they may have gone and done some filming south of the border, because most of the stuff looks like it was shot fall winterish in Canada, and then they've got some tropical stuff. So I think maybe they did a March break or something like that, and like for spring break went down, who knows where, South America, Mexico, Central America, something like that, who knows, Caribbean even, to do some shoot, maybe even southern United States possible, to shoot some scenes and such. I lean more towards probably Mexico, considering the destination type thing is a very popular place to go for Canadians. But South America is also possible. But they do show certain scenes in there where it's like, okay, this is most likely going to be not in Canada. Probably not in the United States, even though it's possible. But probably not. And then, I'm just going by timelines and stuff like that, and it just makes sense. Yeah, there's don't get me wrong, there are problems with obviously the script, dialogue, acting, directing, and all that kind of stuff. But all said and done, considering limitations, considering what they had to work with, if you took this film and did it today with all of the amount of software and like your cell phones and stuff like that, and shot it, I think outside of maybe the bad acting and such like that, the look of the film would have been probably a lot better. And even they did have special effects going on in this. They did practical effects. They did some I guess you'd call it digital editing effects. But essentially most of it's all in camera, and it's fun when you see, like, how do we pull this off without, like, paying somebody to do it on a computer in CG, right? And without having any, necessarily artistic super skills to make things look, realistic and all that kind of stuff. So there's a lot of paper mache type stuff going on, creating zombies and such. So it's a step up from just having somebody done in like gray face paint with some, like that kind of a zombie, right? It's a step up from that, where it looks more akin to, say, Lucio Fulci's Zombie. Maybe it's an homage to that, I don't know. But the masks are, as far as I can tell, made out of paper mache or a similar, thing like that. So, do they look real? No, none of it looks real, but it doesn't really need to. I mean, considering this film, it's not like it's really pulling you out of the realism in this film. It's all part of the beauty of watching such a film of this nature. I actually kind of enjoyed it for the most part. I will say a few parts are a little long-winded, but there is enough type of gore, kills, and zombies and stuff going on, and the story is, I mean, though it's not new, it's okay, and it works. So I didn't find myself, even though I will admit, I think I watched this over the course of maybe 4 or 5 days, little bits, because I tended to watch it when nobody else was around, right? So, yeah, I was kind of I even literally had to turn it off before like the last 2 minutes, because I don't, even though they are really, really low budget special effects and gore and blood and stuff like, I didn't need to have James seeing that. We try and keep his face away from anything, even though he doesn't seem fazed by it. He calls everything Halloween, so it's like horror movies are Halloween, blood is Halloween, scary things are Halloween, and he's not scared by them, except for when they jump out at him, like at Spirit Halloween. So that being said, I could have probably watched this while he was in the room, but I still tried to, save him from it and others in the household from this film, because, well, I'm sure if Leslie saw it, she probably would have been like, well, thank God I didn't have to watch that. But me, on the other hand, I'm glad I watched it. This is, A, it's Canadian. I did not know that going in, and B, it's actually not bad. I'm really cool. Glad that I picked up this DVD from Sub Rosa, because yeah, it has some interesting. Then of course it has some of the short films that he's made in it. I don't know if that film for Kill Them and Eat Them, I don't know if that's available out there, but I would like. There is a trailer for it on this DVD, so I do want to see if I can check it out. But if I had to give a recommend for this film, no, I would not recommend it. This is definitely not for everybody. If you are into super duper low budget, micro budget films, and you like that sort of thing, like that shot on VHS, you like the shot on video stuff. I mean, there is a big market for people who, don't get me wrong, not everybody's Hollywood, not everybody's, low budget. Some people literally are more into the micro budget films. Yes, there are. If you're one of those people, this is something you have to check out. This is cool. If you're not, don't go anywhere near it. You're probably going to be watching a little bit of it and go, wow, I could have done that. And maybe you can, especially with, like I said, cell phones and free editing stuff on computers these days. You look at what's going on in the YouTubes and TikToks and stuff like that. People, kids, are putting together stuff that's far better than this. But, again, times are different. This is older. Yeah, quite a few years ago. So, that being said, if I had to rate it anything, what would I rate it? I might go a 2 out of 5. Simply because, yeah, it falls short on all the technical aspects. But it's one of the better. I almost want to go 2.5 out of 5, but considering how low I've been rating some of the technically decent films, and this is on par with them in terms of story, I kind of have to knock it down. So I'm gonna go. I'm gonna. Yeah, 2 out of 5. 2 out of 5 is probably a good rating for this. Though I lean towards 2.5 because it was more enjoyable than I thought it would be. 2.5. 2.5 out of 5. That's what I'm going with. Yeah, Part of me wants to say 2, but I'm going to go with 2.5. Half a point for being Canadian. There you go. That's what I'm going with. So, yeah, not recommended, but better than I thought it would be. How's that sound? If you've seen the film, comment down below. I'd love to hear from you. More 31 Days of Horror to come. Thanks for watching. Till next video, take care. Have a good one.